What's going on, everyone? At Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the very slim possibility of the New York Giants hiring Brian Flores and then trading for Deshaun Watson. Rumors and reports came out that these two are really interested in, having a New York reunion with the Giants, and getting themselves together with the New York Giants as the head coach and the quarterback. And I don't think this is likely at all. Although the Giants do have the draft capital to trade for Watson, I just don't see this happening unless the GM that comes in is really aggressive. I'm hoping the new GM brings in Brian Flores to be the head coach. We know one possible candidate right now. It's Dan Quinn. I wouldn't expect him to be the guy. I would think Brian Flores has a better shot. But at the end of the day, I really want Brian Flores, as I made a video on him, why I think the Giants should bring him in to be the head coach. But about Deshaun Watson, that's the more unlikely part, in my opinion. I think it's still a possibility, but it's a very slim possibility. And what I'm going to say is, if the Giants are able to get Deshaun Watson and give up one first-round pick this year, a first-round pick next year, Daniel Jones, potentially, maybe a James Bradbury kind of guy, if they're able to do something like that with another second and fourth or something like that, if they can bring in Deshaun Watson for that package, I am all for it. But I do not want to trade both first-round picks this year. If that's what it takes to bring in Deshaun Watson, I don't want any part in it. We need to have at least one of these first-round picks, at the very least, because we need to build up the offensive line. And if you take a look at a similar trade package, Matthew Stafford trade package, of course it took Jared Goff, who was the quarterback that took that Rams team to the Super Bowl, but he really isn't much. I think Daniel Jones probably has a higher trade value than Jared Goff. But along with Jared Goff, it was a third-round pick this year and two first-round picks. It was a third-round pick last year and two first-round picks, one this year, one next year. So we'd be looking at somewhat a trade package like that, probably a little bit more. So I'm thinking two first-round picks, Jones, another player, and another one or two draft picks. So that's what I think it would take to bring in Deshaun Watson. Now at that price, with two firsts, just one this year, two firsts, Daniel Jones, a guy like Bradbury, a second-round pick, a fourth-round pick. If we're going to get Watson on that kind of package, I would love to do it. I would actually, be more interested in doing it than not, because that's a package where you could still get an offensive lineman in the draft. You could potentially even trade back if you really want, get a pick for next year, and still get a guy like Linderbaum. But in the end, I think it's going to take 3 first-round picks to get a guy like Deshaun Watson. But if he has interest in coming to the Giants, if we bring in Flores and then Watson says, listen, get me to New York, maybe Houston gets that deal done with because of how long he's been demanding it for. If this move ends up happening, though, I don't think it will be before March. I think Deshaun Watson needs to get off all that nonsense that he's dealing with in terms of like the law and that. But if he gets off of that and he says, if Brian Flores is the coach here and he says, I want to come here and the price is 2 firsts, Jones, guy like a Bradbury or a Martinez or something like that, and with a second and a fourth, I'm all for it. But one of those picks has to be for next year. We can't lose both picks this year. That's just my thoughts on this. I wanted to, quickly talk about it. We saw, of course, that Matthew Stafford trade package. It would take something a little bit like that, maybe a little bit more, to get a guy like Deshaun Watson because of his age. He's a little younger, and all of that. So, like I said, if it's going to take 2 first-round picks, plus, I'm fine with it as long as we're able to keep at least one draft pick, one first-round pick for this coming draft where the Giants must go with an offensive lineman with at least one of those 2 picks. But you guys let me know down below in the comment section. What do you think about the possibility of bringing in Deshaun Watson? He's proven that he can play without an offensive line, without a very good offensive line. And if the Giants, I'm not saying to get him and not have an offensive line, but for one season, he can probably still function without an offensive line. So it's definitely interesting. But you guys let me know, like I said, down below in the comment section. Do you want Watson here? Do you think it's going to happen? Like I said, it's very slim. But I think it's a slim possibility. But let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. And as always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Let's go Giants.